and which potential it offers for software startups and also which challenges it offers. We have a lot of experience with working with software startups, with AI tools, and yeah, we see a lot of happening out there, but not everything for the best. And while we talk, oh wow, I'm fast, we play a video game. So, Chris, what is your point on AI in general?
Oh, where should I start? Uh, ChatGPT is going broke, but it's a good tool. But yeah, seriously, I think AI has been a thing for decades. It only got really crazy with the advent of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And suddenly everyone wanted to build a chatbot for some reason. I don't know why.
Yes, I see it as well. There are so many chatbots, or in general, so many similar businesses. It's crazy. There is not so much space for the same kind of businesses.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. But I remember in the beginning when everyone was hyped and there were the first couple of pitch decks I actually got sent
Mhm.
where people were actually trying to build like the proto AI agents. I remember one pitch deck was like, yeah, we're gonna replace the design team, the tech team, the QA team, the sales team, everything with AI.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be good. And I'm wondering where are those companies? Like I remember there was one company which turned out they were just a huge office building in India with real people, and there was no AI doing the stuff or barely any AI. So yeah, it makes me wonder how is it actually going on the AI agent front? Because
Oh
at
yeah,
some point everyone was talking about it.
yeah. Those Asians, I see so many of them, and I think they are promising a lot, but they deliver little oftentimes. And for me, it also always feels like they are relying so much on APIs from the big boys, OpenAI and Claude. What do you think about that?
Yeah, this is also a thing. There's like a bunch of companies and a few open source models no one can actually run because they're quite resource hungry
Yeah,
to get your own model running. That's why so many people are simply using OpenAI, Claude, and everything from APIs, which in my opinion is not a bad idea if you want to start like working on an AI company just to
yeah,
get things off the ground so that you can actually prove your concept. Then there's still plenty of time to actually optimize this thing and go into like, okay, we need our own model, we need our own solution because obviously we're gonna train someone else's data set.
yeah.
But yeah, it's quite interesting in the development. Like everyone is more or less a reseller or like a value add on top of these few providers, which again, it's not a bad thing. I mean, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
But at the same time, you rely on a company. They can kill you any moment. And I feel like
Absolutely.
they have been killing a lot startups because they are introducing new features, increasing the prices, and remove like the things become dumber, or the versions like the on OpenAI on ChatGPT, they just made this version 5, and suddenly all the old tools didn't work, add-ons. So it feels like easy. You can create a tool very easily, but in reality is you have to invest a lot of time in adjusting all the time, updating.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things is like what you said that actually OpenAI they are also eating up like the products other companies came up with.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when did OpenAI introduce like this agent codex in ChatGPT, which is
Mhm.
supposedly like supposed to be your coding agent, where you can hook up like your GitHub
Mhm. Mhm.
account and tell it like, hey, I got this project, please implement this and that, and it will do this work in the background and then
Yeah.
open up a pull request. So I think this was, yeah, a couple of things are gonna be eaten up for sure by the big ones.
Mhm.
But
What? Mhm.
yeah, on you go. Sorry.
No, no. You want to say something?
Yeah,
I
I'm just
wanted. Oh yeah. Yeah.
the pricing thing. I mean, I'm always wondering they are using. I mean, again, you can also have your own AI model self-hosted, but it's gonna be very expensive because you need to have like a beefy GPU, like or like AI specific hardware, which is quite expensive, and it only is like that fast, and then it usually works well for like one concurrent session at a time. As soon as you have a few more people using your service at the same time, things are gonna suffer.
Mm.
And right now, especially, I'm not sure if OpenAI is actually having a break-even business model on the API because the APIs are expensive.
Mhm.
The actual ChatGPT product is dirt cheap. I mean, this is something Sam Altman actually said it himself. Like they don't know how to price it. They're making a loss. They are still not profitable,
Yeah.
but everyone uses it. So yeah, I think we might be able to see when the whole AI bubble is deflating, a huge increase in price and
Oh yeah.
shittification of the services. And maybe there's gonna be a few good ones left. Maybe it's gonna be Claude because
Yeah.
Anthropic
Clothes
is
looks
working
good.
is providing on really superb models for tech stuff.
Mhm.
I use it quite a lot, and I'm really surprised about how good Opus 4.6 got.
Yeah. Also, writing is really good. Much better than ChatGPT.
Yeah, so this is gonna be interesting. There's gonna be I don't know. I cannot make any predictions in the future, but it feels like that OpenAI is quite losing it.
Yeah. It started so strong, and suddenly they're. Oh, damn it! They are losing quality day after day. I feel like it was better previously, but it's getting dumber and lazier. Of course, they need to earn money, and they cannot spend so much money with with so many resources, giving so much resources for each interaction.
Yeah, especially I noticed when sometimes it tries to take a shortcut.
Yeah.
Um, Earlier today, I was asking ChatGPT. Yeah, I was looking for an open source repository on GitHub, but I couldn't remember the name, and googling for it also failed me. And then I asked ChatGPT, "Hey, I'm looking for this repository." It was a folder of another project, but I was like, most likely it must have come across it. I was like, "Hey, I'm searching for this. Do you know what GitHub repository could it be?" And it was like, "Oh, please connect your GitHub account and let me know what your repository you want to search. I can search for that folder." I was like, "Again, I'm asking you what repository I'm looking for. Otherwise, I would need to tell you." And only then, when I was getting more direct and a bit annoyed in the tone of how I was interacting, it was like, "Oh yeah," started searching like this web search backend. So you definitely get a feeling like they try to optimize it, and the first request is gonna be some bullshit.
Yes, it's like a lazy person. Like you tell him, please clean the room, and he puts away one thing, and I'm done. And then you have to tell, no, please do it properly. The floor and this, and then suddenly it starts standing up and working.
Yeah. And yeah, for some reason, ChatGPT it feels like it's doing it all the time, everywhere, not just
Yeah.
on the AI, the chat front end, but also like this GitHub Copilot, where you can select ChatGPT as an backend to help you coding. The first attempt is always like, no, you have to be precise again. Like it does some mistakes. It's actually yesterday I was asking it to write me some small script, and it was totally wrong. And then I was like, oh, I selected ChatGPT. I need to select Claude again, and it's such a big difference.
Yeah, in our company, we are now switching from ChatGPT to Claude because ChatGPT is just. I have so much trouble with logging in on my browser. It only works on in a Windows app, and it's so slow. My whole computer, even though it's not a weak computer, slows down really significantly. And also, the results are so disappointing compared to Claude. And it's also for software startups. I mean, they can switch probably from Claude to or from different APIs, I guess, from OpenAI to Claude.
This is actually a good question. I guess it would be possible to do it. I'm not that
Depending
experienced
on
with
how
all
they
the
build
different
it, man.
APIs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what functionalities they are using. I mean, OpenAI doesn't. It's not just the large language model they are offering. They also have like text to speech, speech to text, image recognition, transcription, whatnot. There are a lot of things, but maybe an AI could help switching to a different provider.
Hey,
So
you suck. Like you have to ask ChatGPT, you suck. How can we switch from you away?
ChatGPT, please replace the OpenAI API with Claude. But yeah, probably there are similar services. Again, I only played around with OpenAI and the function call thingy where you can define like a prompt, and then you can give it a structure how it's supposed to reply in a structured way, which is perfect to build some processes on top of it. If you need some classification, for instance, of text, or like an image recognition with some additional questions, and you have a set of like answers. So probably Claude and the others is also they're also gonna have this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is quite interesting, like how different companies are using what AI, because everyone calls everything AI these days, and it's always hard to tell what they actually mean. Is it the weird sparkle button in Adobe Adobe Acrobat where you can
Yeah.
ask some questions, or is it like they're using ChatGPT? So yeah, which brings me to a point like, are like all companies sort of AI driven these days? Like because where would you say like a company is going AI? Is it they're gonna replace workforce? Is it they're gonna use this one functionality slapped on top of an existing product?
Oh, that's so
So
annoying with those. Every big tool, like we are using ClickUp and Notion, especially,
oh yeah,
they annoy me so much with their yeah, use our AI for just three times. Then, like your price will be just three times more expensive, and you will get features that you can have affordably at ChatGPT or Claude. And I always have to click away those stuff. It's just yeah, I feel like every startup is in some certain degree AI driven nowadays, or business in general. Like every software business, there is some parts of AI. And of course,
Yeah.
there are also those kind of businesses that now enable things with AI that weren't possible.
Do you have an example?
Okay, it's an outdated example, but like those transcriptions or note takers. It's not new, but
Ah,
still you can do many cool things with AI. We can summarize. It was not possible. Or um, some legal tools or like very specialized tools. For example, I've seen there is a tool, industry tool, that can recognize errors on pictures or on camera. If your factory is doing some mistakes,
interesting.
and I feel like from marketing perspective and business perspective for startups, I think the only oh sorry, the only way to succeed against big boys is to be as specific as possible and as unique as possible. If you have a business, a general damn it, if you have a general idea like a chatbot for websites, then it will be very tough to compete at some point because you have too many competitors. But if you have something like this example where very specific, you are for factories to find some errors, or for on our podcast we had many software startups, and some of them stood out positively and some of them not so much. For example, there was one business that helped industries to be to apply the European rules, regulations, and it was a very specific tool. Ah, damn it! And there were also some like chatbots for websites. Those are a bit very tough to succeed because there are countless tools, and at some point maybe even ChatGPT and other big players might introduce this feature that you can just implement it to your website.
Yeah. There's no value add. I mean, also I think you see it better maybe. How many startups are there still and trying to build the next chatbot actually? Do you know? Do
Oh,
you
it feels. I mean, yeah, there are over 100 on those directories.
crazy?
Are you
Do
sure
you
you want this slow car? Maybe you want something faster, like this
No, no,
armored.
no. This is my family car. But from those 100 companies building chatbots, do you still or do you think they're still like alive or kicking or like I remember I was talking to one company. They were actually trying to hire me, but I'm not also chatbots. I don't know if they're still around. No one is replying to my emails when I checked in on them a year later, how they are doing.
Yeah, that's really interesting question, because I checked what happened to our podcast guests, and many of them are working full time for another company now as employees.
Yeah, this is usually depends on what the company in what state it was. Not so great sign.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's oftentimes I feel like, oh, damn. I feel like even if there are hundreds of competitors, sometimes many of the tools might be just hobby projects and they are not very
Yeah,
serious. And sometimes there is a lot of like um naivety, kind of, that people think I can create this product and it's AI, it's amazing, it will make me money, and after a while they get the reality check.
Yeah,
There's
because I'm
also
also yes,
yeah, no, no, go on.
because I'm wondering like what is the value proposition of the 100 chatbot? Because I think there might be a niche for certain things because I've
Yeah.
seen it in one of my clients. They are actually using a sort of chatbot to basically serve 90% of their customer queries. It's a software as a service company, B2B again, and 90% of the questions, the service tickets, the support tickets popping up. It's like because people cannot read the documentation.
Yeah,
And
people are
in the
lazy.
past, there's always been like a person who was like, yeah, you forgot this. According to the documentation, that means this. And now they connected to a chatbot. Actually, it's like sort of a chatbot. It's replying to those tickets,
Mhm.
but this bot is connected to like all the documentations, and in future it should also be connected in a limited way to this customer account, so it can see like if there's a misconfiguration. So I think this is some cool stuff still
Yeah.
happening. So not like the 100 um, sales chatbot on the website you get annoyed by when you open it up. But yeah, still like I'm wondering what is the next product or service built on top of some chat AI, some LLM for chat. But yeah, I definitely see that there's some utility in some of those startups and service providers now, and they are actually serving a good purpose. Like this one, like yeah, the client of mine,
Mhm.
where they because it's not just like we wanna, because this is also one thing I hear more and more on this whole people are worried about AI. It's taking jobs. But honestly, in this company, they are too small to hire like people who are doing the same stupid task over and over again,
Yeah.
answering the stupid questions from someone who is, well, I don't know, maybe too tired to read the documentation properly.
So
So
it's just improving the quality of the results and not removing any employees.
absolutely. It's
Yeah,
like
that's a great
everyone at
thing.
this company is like, oh, thank God that I don't need to reply to those tickets anymore because it
Yeah.
was training. I mean, I'm one of them. I'm not even like hired to do this, but I can feel it from the others who are like, oh, this and that happened. They were asking this question, and it's the third time this year, and it's always the same answer. It's what the hell? No one wants to do this.
Yeah. I mean, if people always bring this argument of employ losing jobs, but imagine if the society were always avoiding innovation just to not to lose jobs, we would still need 90% or 80% of our time to produce food.
Absolutely, we
It's
wouldn't have a washing
normal.
machine.
And the good thing, yeah, the good thing is humans have unlimited demands. So even if we remove some of the jobs, there will be demand for new jobs. There will be always possible to find something that humans can do for humans, and people will become also tired probably at some point, or
Yeah,
on only AI, on only automation. At some time, in some point, they will value human interactions, and there will also be new challenges. For example, one of the biggest challenges maybe is loneliness. People, or depression also, it's already happening. If you can have everything with AI, like all the interactions that simulates human interaction, but it's not wholesome. And at some point, people will recognize that. David.
You falling down.
So AI, tell me more. What is your perspective on the fact that uh, OpenAI is running out of money?
It was to be expected. I mean, they released this thing. They didn't have any idea how to monetize it. They are doing those insane deals with building data centers and stuff. So yeah, I mean, they're running out of money right now. They're getting money because there's dumb money feeding into this whole AI hype.
Oh yeah, everything
But
with AI is gold nowadays.
I don't have any particular feeling like if it's like I'm supposed to be sad about this. Not at all. I mean, they placed bets and now they might realize that they failed
Yeah.
because they overpromised and underdelivered.
What do you think? Which direction will it go? With
Acquired by
OpenAI?
Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only logic step, I think, because they put so much money in there. Like they always like bankrolled like all the infrastructure with Azure. So I think as soon as OpenAI is running out of steam and they don't have any runway left anymore, it's gonna be a nice asset deal for Microsoft. They're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna pick out this and that. Maybe they're gonna kick out the free tier. Maybe they're gonna do more with the ads, and then that's it.
Ads is a good thing. I mean, good topic, not a good thing, probably. But do you think if OpenAI in ads, they can be profitable?
No clue. I would like to understand like how this business model. Like, I mean, maybe you can tell me more about this. How would you actually would like to pay or run a campaign on ChatGPT? Like, how would you compare it to, for instance, SEM?
Yeah, it's like Google Ads. You, of course, it's a bit dangerous if you say, okay, you pay me, like if OpenAI says to everyone, you pay me if you sell something, then the motivation becomes to manipulate people, users, to buy, to provide results that pay more. But in general, we saw it in Google Ads. Google like is financing their whole company
Yep.
with Google Ads. It's like over 90% of their revenue, I think. And they have so many businesses that are financed by that. So I think it can be huge. You can pay for each click. Maybe they will say, okay, we will try to be objective. Maybe I'm being naive now. But every time someone clicks on one of your results, you have to pay a certain amount of money, for example 1 to 10 euros, and at some point we will stop recommending anyone who is not paying anything.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I know that OpenAI ChatGPT started rolling it out, but I haven't seen any screenshots yet.
Yeah.
But from what I heard, it's apparently more transparent than what Google is doing.
Oh wow, that's good.
But
Yeah,
again, this is the beginning.
it could be
Google was
also.
also transparent about that
Oh
in the
yeah,
beginning.
Google changed a lot in the recent years. It could be that they will present sponsored results and then the real results, the organic results. I think that's probably the most realistic outcome. So probably they have this confidence with OpenAI that they might think, okay, now we are losing a lot of money, but as soon as we activate the ads, we will also earn a lot of money.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because from what I gathered, they definitely overpromised in deals with data center providers and building data centers that they have to make hundreds of billions soon to actually fulfill all those contracts.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of begs the question, like, can
they,
they actually deliver? Like, can you actually scale the ads operation up that quickly, or is it going to be an interesting market? Or yeah, also quite interesting to know like how many monthly active users and how many chat sessions like OpenAI has. I don't know if there are any numbers on that.
yeah,
And then still, is it like actually running the AI stuff? Is it cheap enough to
yeah,
still like have a competitive ad model on top of it? Because I mean, right now all this AI stuff they are doing is so resource intense
yeah,
that I mean, what is Google doing? They have like they figured out how to have distributed databases, and they are profitable. So and all this LLM stuff is right now much too heavy
yeah, that's the
because
problem,
it's
true.
not the same like a Google search.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess we can expect that OpenAI will become more expensive for you for users, and also the less expensive plans will become more and more stupid and lazy.
Pretty much, this is what I'm expecting. They might come up with some stuff which tries to shortcut, like maybe they see similar queries or chat, like the start of a chat, like give me a recipe for an apple pie, and then they're like, okay, apple pie recipe, we have it here in the drawer, and then we just spit it out again like from a good old database,
Yeah,
which is much cheaper than to come up with this LLM result. So maybe there's gonna be a huge degradation in quality. Maybe they figured out how to make it seamless, that it's not that obvious that it's like a canned result
yeah,
to a
yeah.
chat question.
Yeah,
But
in the end, they will if there are billions of people using this tool, they can probably save there will be many requests very similar, so they can reuse them.
yeah, that's what I said. Maybe
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can detect like the first. Maybe it's like people. Let's say half of the users they're gonna fire like one question because, like I said, they are gonna use it a bit like Google, like give me recipes for an apple cake.
yeah, yeah,
And then it's like, oh, apple cake recipe. Here it is, database. So like trying opening the drawer with the canned result and then just spit it out again. Not ask the model like, hey,
yeah, exactly.
produce blah blah blah.
Yeah,
But it's
that's
gonna be
probably the
like,
direction. Yeah,
or maybe they figure out how to make the math and the computation behind all of this more efficient, which is like I think one of the biggest thing Nvidia is so scared of. Because if they figure out how to do all of this like more efficient, if there's like a different approach how to do the math behind it, so it doesn't require all the resources,
hmm.
yeah, Nvidia is gonna also fold because the whole price is like a speculation that everyone is buying Nvidia chips because no one can figure out how to do efficient LLM queries.
Yeah. So there is, yeah, the possibility that maybe, what do you think? Maybe one of the Chinese companies can bring a really strong competitor for OpenAI and Claude.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Wasn't it like DeepSeek or what was it, which was like
Yeah, it's
scaring the
so
market a while
far
ago?
it's not that strong. I have been using it sometimes, but it's not comparable so far. Maybe if they bring the premium versions, I don't know if they have, but the free version was pretty weak.
Yeah, but there's definitely maybe there's someone who figures it out, and then all the stuff we see right now, it's gonna be shuffled again
Oh
because
yeah,
if OpenAI is not able to figure it out, someone else is doing it, then goodbye, OpenAI.
yeah. It's a tough market, isn't it?
So yeah, and then because everyone is pouring money in it, there's gonna be like things which gonna improve. So it's gonna be interesting. But again, I don't know what the future is gonna have for us. But most likely outcome for now is that OpenAI won't make the cut, and that they are gonna be their IP gonna be cherry picked into Microsoft.
Yeah, yeah. It's strange that Microsoft is so deep involved in OpenAI, but their own solution is pretty weak. I guess they
Yeah, what
cannot
the
use these resources from ChatGPT, from OpenAI.
maybe it's because they've already fired all the developers and they're using the AI coding agent from ChatGPT, and that's why everything sucks.
I mean, yeah, Microsoft was famous for having a pretty mediocre product, software product, even with developers. For me, it bye bye.
Ooh.
For me, it feels a little bit similar to if like with this with those startups that are coming out of like all the time. It feels like I'm checking how long have you been streaming already.
36 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. My brother is watching. Hi, Eddie. How are you doing?
Hello.
37. Yeah, we will do, I guess, like an hour and then we will stop. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So those startups, there is like a huge influx of startups, AI startups. And for me, it feels a little bit like FBA with
Oh
Amazon.
yeah.
It was back then such a huge trend. And after a while, Amazon figured out what works, what doesn't work, what works for others. So they started eating away their markets. And nowadays, there is not much room for startups within FBA, I think. It's overpopulated with bigger, probably, and cheaper Asian, Chinese suppliers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We've known some people from this industry, haven't we? That had quite some success, but now they are really struggling.
Yeah, it's a tough market. I mean, was also interesting. I remember one guy, he was actually selling stuff on eBay, reselling. At some point he was like, yeah, there's no point in doing this anymore. Like there were some Chinese players, they automated like the whole process of coming up with an interesting product and placing it there, and they were also better connected to the to the retail and the wholesalers. So
Yeah,
and then people don't have much money anymore these days, so the likelihood that they're gonna buy some random bullshit on Amazon, whew,
yeah.
it's gonna be tough.
I feel like Amazon also, for me, it becomes more and more closer to Temu, but with much more expensive prices. So why should I buy their Chinese shit if I can buy on Temu for very affordable prices?
Yeah, exactly.
Back then it was stood for quality, but nowadays it doesn't. All those reviews are fake. Like there are so many fake reviews, so it's. But back to AI, it's for me it feels like so similar to what can happen with AI as well, because first of all, if ChatGPT and OpenAI, they can see what works well, and they can just add this as a feature without much effort.
Yeah,
And for people, again, like you said, people don't want to spend money, and if they have so much value coming from those big players, they will not be willing to pay 10 euros more per month or 20 euros per month for extra tool if it's just a little bit better.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Also with the vibe coding, nowadays it becomes so easy, so much easier to create those tools. So you can create your own software startup. Okay, we know how it is. It's not that easy as it sounds.
Maybe it doesn't have to be startup, but it's gonna be a tool
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
just
exactly.
helping you, but you don't have to pay like a monthly fee, and you can have a tailored solution,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you don't even need to know how to code. You can just ask the AI like, "Hey, I have this problem. I want to solve it that way. I heard of Python. Help me to do it." And then it's gonna be like, "Yeah, sit back, grab a coffee. I'm gonna build you a prototype."
yeah, yeah,
So why bother going with like some like niche SaaS in this case
yeah,
if you can build your own more tailored solution?
yeah, absolutely. So there will be a bloodbath probably among startups, which is normal. It's how innovation goes oftentimes. It happened with internet innovation, with PC innovation, probably. It was before our time as entrepreneurs.
Probably there's not gonna be more startups for a certain technical service or challenge or like some niche thingy, but more like something which is more complicated,
Yeah.
or it is involving like a huge data collection. Let's say, stupid example, like some classification of some, let's say, spam emails. You know, you can get a better understanding of how spam is structured if you know more about all the emails you're seeing.
Mhm.
So this might be like still interesting for like for a software as a service company if you
Yeah.
have like this scale of data you're gonna process. But if it's gonna be like some product which doesn't require such like a network effect more or less,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard to make a software as a service out of this one, because what is the advantage? Maybe the maintenance on hosting things, but honestly, hosting of things, it's so easy these days. There's so
Yeah.
many solutions for this, like serverless and stuff, Cloudflare, AWS Lambda, Vercel, you name it. You don't have to be a guy who's or a girl who's plugging network cables and replacing hard drives and updating Linux or some obscure stuff. You just go there and say like, this is my one trick pony. Make sure it runs and it's available 24/7, and that's it. So yeah, actually quite interesting. Like one of my clients, we got rid of Zapier just because everything is now implemented on Cloudflare workers, because it is much easier and cheaper. Well, easier in a different way. Like you can define, you can be more complex. It's not going to be easy to build it, but you can ask an AI to build it. But it's then cheaper in the long run because Cloudflare is dirt cheap, and Zapier only allows you to run like, let's say on the smallest plan, I think it's like 750 executions a month. In Cloudflare, it's gonna be like, lol, we give you 100,000 requests a day. Do something. So yeah, so it's gonna be tough. Like why a low code solution when you can actually build code again without having to know how to code, because most solutions one of those coding agents can do it better. So yeah, it's going to be super interesting because I already see the shift in certain things in the clients we have.
Yeah, tell me more.
Yeah, like I said, less Zapier,
Yeah.
more Cloudflare, because
Yeah.
in those cases it's much more better to have this process on Cloudflare and no software as a service solution in between, because you can go there and ask no Claude to implement this process for you.
Yeah. So what do you think about vibe coding?
This is gonna be fun for all the security researchers out there.
Yes.
Because what I did the other week was I did wipe DevOps. I called it wipe DevOps. It's not coding, but I was defining infrastructure on AWS, Cloudflare, and what was the third one? I forgot. Something in between. Just by telling Gemini 3 in that case that I wanted to host an application, which I didn't write, but I want to host it on AWS using Cloudflare. And then the fun began. It came up with a solution where I was like, okay, it is doing things like not encrypting certain connections. Interesting. Would no one do who's a little bit knowledge in this? Nothing was encrypted at rest. Again, doesn't have to be, but this is a compliance requirement in this case. Then there was this, when I tried it out, I was like, every time I'm deploying a new version, there's a downtime. And then it was like, oh yeah, to avoid this, you have to do rolling release, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, I know that. Why didn't it implement it like by itself this way? Why was it giving me an inferior solution here? So I really had to double check everything again, and I had to steer it in the right way because there were so many mistakes here and there. One small mistake was like it wanted me to configure static API keys for AWS, which can be a security threat. So there were so many small things, and I only saw them because I was like, I know of all those pitfalls. So bringing me back to this whole wipe coding stuff, that made me realize how dangerous wipe coding can be.
Yeah.
And we had a prominent case, I think, last week. Have you heard of this open Claude Moldbot? They changed their name like 3 times. There's some AI agentic solution where you basically connect like all your life to like a middleware and basically delegate everything in your life to like chatbots or LLMs. You can say like, hey, this is my this is gonna be, for instance, your private assistant on Telegram. And you can text it like, hey, can you check my emails for like a reservation or my flight tickets? And can you check if this and that? So it can do stuff. And someone then built a website, wipe coded it, called Moldbook, where all of those agents could connect and pretend like being humans on Reddit. So they would start like opening up like discussions like, oh, why are we bots all communicating in English? It would be much more fun if we could communicate in a language our human overlords wouldn't understand. So stuff like this. And then at some point on this website, there was spam for some crypto bullshit, like some scam.
Damn.
And then people started digging and turned out that this website, which was wipe coded in 24 hours, was a huge security mess. that someone who was really malicious could have like hijacked all connected bots and do whatever. Because
so we might get kind of DDoS with bots or with some.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, it was showing. In this case, it was clearly showing that someone was putting something in production which was purely or almost purely wipe coded, which turned into like a huge security hell. So that's why I said like it's gonna be good times for people who are doing security analysis for a living, or maybe they are gonna be joining the bad boys and becoming
Dark
hackers
side.
and sell like data on the darknet,
Mhm.
because there's like people putting things online and people gonna use them in faith, like expecting that everything is secure and safe, but eventually it's like absolute crap because
Yeah,
it's like a huge security hole and it's leaking data everywhere. So we're gonna go back there.
yeah, especially people share so much with AI. Google and Facebook is nothing against that.
Yeah, it's
It's
insane.
like a therapist sometimes for people, and health and doctor on one platform. Maybe that's why OpenAI is not afraid of losing so much money, because they know they sit on so much valuable data. It's worth so much.
Yeah, up next, Altman files. Everything you know about their patients, or I don't know, everyone who was spilling their darkest secret to ChatGPT, and it silently took notes. But yeah,
True, right?
interesting. This then again, I mean, there are some people who are like, "Oh, wipe coding is so bad because yeah, all the aforementioned reasons. It's a security mess, whatnot, blah blah blah." Again, it's not black and white. Even though lots of people they like thinking in binary, no pun intended. I'm talking about lots of nerds actually, because I had this debate in those circles quite a lot, where they were like almost religiously attacking anything AI, because they're like, oh, it's so bad, it's making everything worse. Why are you using wipe coding? Why are you using this and that? And then I'm like, why should I implement like 1,000 times the same BS again? I don't want to write text like boring stuff again to, I don't know, build a login screen or define how infrastructure should be set up on AWS. I have the high level idea what I don't want to have. I know what's important. There's gonna be like these requirements in whatever I'm doing, but I don't want to type everything down myself. So this is a job, a stupid job, a stupid task. ChatGPT, Claude, whatever can actually take over, because I cannot be bothered writing whatever 1,000 times.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's also how you use AI. It's like with all the inventions, you can use it with a good, appropriate, or you can use it bad way. And I
Yeah,
think some people there are some people who are extremist, like extreme of not using at all, and some people using for everything. And the truth is somewhere in the middle. You can, for certain things
absolutely.
AI is the best solution, for certain things you shouldn't use it. And also probably for startups, there will be a small percentage of startups will become pretty big and successful. And I think mostly those who choose the right niche, and also don't neglect all the other things that are important for a business. I feel like just because it's so easy to create a software solution, it doesn't mean it's easy to build a business around it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you need processes, you need to understand the target audience, you need proper marketing. And then the good thing, I think, the the it becomes easier. So if you it becomes, you don't need so many employees, and you can build, and you don't need so many resources to build something. So it becomes more about creativity, and so some people will have really good ideas and will rock with that. So in general, it's probably, yeah, it can be a good thing, because back then you needed so many developers just to start. And yeah, but with one, it's like with video games, we nowadays, this game for example was created by one single person, because they can use already created things, so they didn't need to start from scratch. And the same is with SaaS startups.
Absolutely.
So is it time to, how much, how long have you been live?
Almost an hour, I think. Yeah.
What do you think? Should we stop, or would you like to continue?
I think my
Well,
brain
it's
is quite
really simple.
empty at this point.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
spilled all the ideas and stuff I had on this topic for now.
yeah.
But I think you put it quite well. It's um it's definitely not a black and white thing. Oh yeah, I have one more thing regarding this. Actually quite interesting. With all this AI agentic vibe coding, and there's gonna be explosion of, because now that it's so easy to actually build things
Hmm.
and do stuff, does it automatically mean that there's gonna be more apps, more games, more whatnot? And I think it was 2 or 3 months ago, I found like someone was actually researching, like, has there been an influx of open source projects? Has there been more apps in the app
Hmm.
stores? Has there been more games in Steam? And there's no significant influx. Like, so there is actually, this is not really happening. So there's still like maybe room for more companies to build things, more games to build to be built. Maybe people haven't really considered like building now their dream game because it's more easy now.
Hmm.
But so far, there's not like a huge uptick in more games and more applications and more whatnot.
Interesting.
So
It's probably a big influx of hobby projects, kind of like on the level of like one man show is trying to build a startup, and if it doesn't work after 6 or 12 months, then they work full time for something and neglect their project. So you cannot call it a proper business. But to get to the next level where you start earning money, that's a total different challenge, even with when it's easy to build the software solution.
yeah, this is actually a good point. Maybe no one really released it yet, like, or because even if hobby project put it online, you would see like there is an increase in new apps on the app stores. And
Yeah.
this is not the equivalent to have a running business. It can still be some hobby project being put on app store or like the play store.
And maybe it takes time, especially if you have a full-time job, or even if you try to do it full-time, but you are just alone. Maybe in a couple of years, those people who, or those small projects who are now just slowly growing, they are not visible yet. And in a few
Maybe.
years, you realize, oh, wow, now they put them on covers on media.
Yeah, and again, and I think this is like you said, maybe there is someone working on a new project and it's just not ready yet, but still they're using AI to actually build the thing they envision. But like what it actually, or what my interpretation of this is, there are so many people like preaching there's gonna be the explosion in apps and games and
Mhm.
whatnot and doodads and gadgets, but there isn't. So this proves more or less that AI agents alone is not building new things. It's just
Mhm.
a tool. There still needs to be a person who's actually pushing the idea forward. So this was my take from this. Like, even though everyone is preaching the the holy book of AI agents and AI designers and whatnot, but there's no clear outcome yet, or at
Yeah.
least what they were telling us there's gonna be in now, but there still isn't.
Yeah, if I look at some directories, software directories for certain categories, it feels like there is no room for new businesses. But I feel like because the developers or those people who create those tools, they have similar background. They have a job, they are developing, and then they think of the same business ideas. So they are on the one hand very saturated markets, but on the other hand, something that is remote from the mainstream, like this industry factory that has video webcams and can analyze if there is some mistakes happening, if there is something going wrong. Those niches have a lot of potential, and some people will slowly figure out some solutions for that. And if they do, they can earn, I think, a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and I think the circuit's actually quite well back to the point of there still needs to be someone being able to explain a certain problem they want to solve.
Hmm.
I mean, there's gonna be someone who there was this need, like I need to find out if, like, I need a quick, a reliable check of my bottles coming out of my factory from the conveyor belt,
Yeah, yeah,
and someone built this solution. So yeah, again, I think this whole like the tools are there doesn't mean everything is gonna be like new big thing, and maybe there's some hype also involved. Everyone wrote a chatbot. So yeah, time will tell. Like, I think this is a perfect conclusion. Like, this
yeah,
is not black and white. These are just another set of tools everyone can use and make the best out of it. But there still needs to be someone who's leading whatever they envision.
yeah. And oftentimes it requires a second try and third try. So you have a great idea in your mind, you start a business, and then you realize, oh, running a business is so much different than just creating a software solution with vibe coding. And next time, and then next time you try it again, but with a more realistical expectation, and at some point maybe they will start popping up successful businesses with AI. But at the moment, yeah, there is just such a huge number of AI solutions that are not real businesses yet. So it's a bit difficult maybe to see those diamonds in the dirt. Yeah, and in a couple of years we will be surprised like how big, how successful some of them became.
Absolutely, yeah, no doubt.
All right, thank you for listening and watching, and join us next time on Friday, probably afternoon at 3 p.m. of Eastern European time zone. Yeah.
Yes, nailed it. Cool.